Welcome, welcome. All right. Can you see me? Well, let me try something with the settings here. Tapping and healing. All right, give me just. Where's everybody tuning? Hey, Miss Lexi, how are you doing? Oh, are you able to see the picture a little bit better now? I've got the background the name of the platform. All right, how about now? Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Can you hear me okay? Let me know where you're joining from. I know I see Miss Lori. I'm streaming on multiple platforms at the same time, everybody, and I appreciate everybody's patience. Let me know if you can hear me okay, Miss Lori. All right, we got Lori joining from Montreal on the tubing of the U, right? I've got a speaking code because other platforms don't like it. Right? It's a fun fact on TikTok, right? You got to speak backwards when you're saying anything that's got a copyright attached to it. It's fun. Fun times. All right, here we go. Y'all ready to do some healing? We're getting ready to release some traumas and get some healing done, right? So just kind of briefly going over the process for everybody new and joining. When you're trying to get a healing, whether that's mental, physical, or emotional. Let me turn this air off because that may be, unfortunately, it sounds like a wind tunnel. That may sound a little bit better. But it gets really hot in here, so if y'all see me sweating, you know what's going on. Hey Ryan, how's it going, buddy? Make sure you guys are now YouTube. You guys don't have to tap the like. You can hit the little thumbs up if you want to, but on TikTok, make sure you're hitting like and share and all that fun stuff, right? Show some love. I appreciate it, right? If you like what you see, like it and share it. Somebody may need to hear it, right? All right, so going through the healing process, what I see a lot of people doing when they're doing the tapping, when they're doing the Reiki healing, when they're doing those types of healings, they're going right for the affirmations first. Now, that's fun and all, and they're going to get a result of some kind. Now, the issue that I see with that is you're not getting rid of the negative fear-based energy out of your mind, body, spirit first. Now, why is that important? Well, it's kind of like putting a sugar-coated topping on a big pile of doo-doo, right? And I'm being nice. I'm using nice words so we don't get flagged, right? But that's really what it's like on a spiritual level when you try to do a healing, but you're not doing the proper what they call shadow work. Or trauma release. Right now you may go through therapy shadow work, you may do the actual book with a therapist. I've done it a couple of times, right? And I've done the actual shadow journal. They circulate around the social media platforms. Those are really good things to do, to dive into your psyche, to figure out where the hang up is mentally. Because here's the thing, when you manifest goals, if your brain even thinks, right? Let me adjust this camera. There we go. That's a little better. If your brain even thinks that you are hesitant about manifesting a goal, or if you're speaking as if you don't have it yet, and I'll give you an example of what I see people doing. They'll be tapping and they'll be doing this and they'll say, I receive my healing. Now that sounds really good, right? That sounds like you really know what you're talking about, right? But here's the thing. You basically just told your brain that you're not ready yet. Why? Because you're in a mindset of you don't have it yet. Now, when the brain goes into the gear that it doesn't have it yet, then that creates blockages in your energy centers. Now, some people call them chakras, some people call them meridians, but the human body is made up of energy, right? And I'm going to move this over here so I can look at one camera. So give me just a second. There we go. Nice. All right. Got some bling on my phone there. All right. Now, Some people call them chakras. Some people call them meridian points. The human body is made up of energy. It's made up of water, energy, and matter, right? Physics 101, energy does not stop. You can transfer it from point A to point B, or you can transmute it. I know that's a catchword, but it's really a physics principle, right? Kinetic energy moves, right? The human body is technically kinetic energy. Um, you can transform it into something else, right? Now, when energy healers, what they're doing is they're going in, they're tapping into your energy, and they are either moving the energy out of the way and they're releasing it back to, their higher power, right? Or they are transforming it into something better, right? Now, I prefer either or, right? But today we are going to just release it to our higher power today. Now, whatever that looks like for you, right? We're not going to get into a religious debate, which I would love to get on the soapbox today about that one. And I may, at the end of the live, out of respect for, everybody tuning in, they want the healing, and we're going to do that. But I've got a bit of a soapbox moment with that one for my theology students out there. If you want to stick around at the end of the live, I'm going to tackle a theology topic that's been just really bugging me. And I went through, fun fact about me, I went through seminary almost 8 years. And then I went through demonology school and exorcism school for an additional, 3 to 5 years, and have performed successful deliverance / exorcisms successfully, right? So I have had that training. Now, that gets into a big religious debate when it comes to energy healing. Now, fun fact, that's throughout all religions, not just, Eastern religions, right? So I'm going to get on the soapbox after the live. If you're in a soapbox kind of mood, I certainly am, but we're going to release some of this anger first, right? Because I don't want to hold it in my body, right? Everybody, when people judge you, when people throw that energy at you, you hold it in your body whether you realize it or not, right? So I don't want to hold those negative judgments in my body. I don't want to hold that negative fear-based energy in my body, because it affects my health physically, right? What happens to your energy centers in your body, or the energy in your body, when it starts to store trauma, it will eventually physically manifest in your body as a health issue, right? You'll notice when we start the tapping process, we're going to start at the top of her head. We're going to go all the way down to the sole of her feet. We're going to do this, right? I don't like just 2 fingers, because I've got a whole scalp, right? I want my whole scalp to be tapped on, right? Head to toe. You've got energy centers throughout your whole body. We're going to tap on each center, and we're going to release those negative fear-based energies, fears, and thought patterns to retrain our brain to think as if we already have our goal. Now, here's what that sounds like, right? This is just a little fun nugget, free nugget for you today. If you're standing in front of the mirror and you're doing your daily affirmations, right? And you're saying, go with the gratitude affirmations first. You're going to start with something like, thank you for waking me up today. Thank you that I have shelter. Thank you that I have food on the table. Start with some gratitude. It gets you in the right mindset automatic. Then when you're trying to manifest money, for example, that's a hot topic, right? You're going to say as if you already have it. So a sample phraseology of that would be, you're going to tap while you're doing it, and you're going to say, thank you. And you can thank your spirit team, your higher power, Jesus, God, whatever your process is. Again, I'm not preaching at nobody today. We're here to release the negative energy, right? So you're going to say your process. For me, I do say Sky Daddy, right? But it's whatever your higher power is, your process. So I'm going to say, thank you. I enjoyed paying my bills on time this Friday. I enjoyed paying my bills on time. All my bills were paid, and I thank you that I have extra left over. Now, here's a fact. We are not at the end of the week yet. We just starting a new week. But what we did was we just trained our brain to think as if we have already hit the end of the week and we have already hit our financial goal. Hey, Kevin, it's nice to see you, brother. Welcome. We're doing some energy healing and tapping, and I'm just explaining how, metaphysics kind of work a little bit. So what I see a lot of people doing is they'll say, they'll phrase it as if they don't have it yet, but they're getting it. I'm going to receive my blessing. Thank you. Thank you, Lord. Though that sounds good, but what you just did was you just basically told your brain and you told your higher power that you're not ready for that blessing yet because your mind isn't there. Because if your higher power releases that blessing to you before your mind is ready, how are you going to steward that blessing? Right? That's the issue. So if you're saying phrases like, we're going to get there, you just got to hang on, we're going to get there, that sounds super motivational. But I would encourage you to change your verbiage. So that's my hot nugget for the week. Change your verbiage. So try this instead. Instead of saying, we're going to get there, we have arrived. I want you to feel how that feels in your body when you say it like that, right? It gives you a different feel. And I just got chill bump confirmations on that one, right? Say it like you put your whole chest in it in front of the mirror and say it with your whole chest. I have arrived. Feels different, sounds different. It feels different in your energy centers in your body. That's the area that you're looking for to manifest things. Because if you're not hitting that energy wave, then your manifestations are going to come in backwards or not at all, right? For instance, you'll get your $50, but then you'll have a $50 flat tire, right? If you don't release those negative fear-based energies and you don't release those thought patterns and retrain your brain to think positive, then your manifestations may not come in at all, or they're going to come in, but you're going to have an expense at the same time as, you've got your, you'll have an expense at the same time as you get your manifestation, right? So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to release the trauma first. We're going to release the fear-based energy first. And then we're going to go back through. We're going to tap head to toe on all of our energy centers. And then we're going to, do our affirmations as if we've already have the goal. Already have the goal. That means I am blessed. I am thankful. I am healthy, wealthy, and wise. That sounds totally different than we're going to make it. We're going to make it one day, y'all. We're going to make it. I mean, that sounds great, but if you really listen to how you're saying that, you're basically telling your brain that you're not ready for that blessing. But you say, thank you. I enjoyed paying my bills on time. I enjoyed that I had money left over. I enjoyed being able to help others. I thank you. That dinner that I had was fantastic. Thank you. And you're going to thank your higher power, whatever that looks like to you, right? That's my process, and it works, right? So without further ado, let's get started. All right. Now, if you like what you see, make sure you're hitting like, show the love, right? Hit those hearts, right? All right. We're going to wake up our crown chakra. And I know that sounds like a dirty word to some religious people, but there's really an energy center in your head and people call it a chakra, right? You can call it whatever you want to, but it's totally there. So, again, if you want to hear my soapbox moment about, I've got some really fun fact nuggets to share with our religious folks today, like courtesy of 8 years of seminary school, right? All right. Thank you, Spirit Team. Thank you, Sky Daddy. Now, this is my process. Again, you're going to find your own process, your own higher power, right? We're not here to preach at you. We're here to release. I release. Now, you're going to repeat after me. Now, you're going to feel like a parakeet for a hot minute, right? Because each energy center, we're going to say the same phrase, but we're going to do a blanket release, right? So it's not going to take a ton of time. We're just going to get through all the chakras and we're going to blanket release statement. And I'm already feeling it in my fingers. You may feel tingly. You may feel hot and cold. You may get thirsty. All that's normal, right? If you really do a massive trauma release, get ready to be hugging the bathroom for a couple of hours, if not a full day. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. This is just like doing a physical body massage. You need to be drinking water after this, right? Here we go. Thank you, Spirit Team. Thank you, Sky Daddy. I release all negative thought patterns, all fear-based energies, entities, low self-esteem, low self-worth, financially lacked mindset, discouragement, depression, fear, anxiety. I release it now back to the universe where it belongs. Thank you, Spirit Team. Thank you, Sky Daddy. All right, let me see. Now, let me know to my friends over on the other streaming platform on the Tubing of the U. Let me know how it's going over there, Lori. If you can still hear me, if I'm breaking up, let me know. All right. We're going to transfer to the back of the neck. That's an energy point, right? That's a major point for entry for negativity. Going to tap the back of the neck, and it may actually relieve headaches, right? So this is may actually relieve headaches. Welcome, everybody. If you're just joining, we're doing some tapping, energy healing. Make sure you're hitting like. Somebody may need to see this. Show the love. It helps me out, please. Thank you. I release all negative fear-based energy, entities, blockages on my health, wealth, abundance, prosperity, happiness, peace, and success in all areas of my life. I release depression. I release anger. I release anxiety, low self-worth, low self-esteem, negative thought patterns, generational negative thought patterns, right? Poverty mindset, that's a thing. I'm from Appalachia, and everybody, they go around saying, money's from the, they have this negative mindset about money. But fun fact, try paying your power bills on air, right? Money can relieve stress, right? So it's a tool. If it's used properly, it can be an effective one, right? Right. I release it now back to the universe where it belongs. Thank you, Sky Daddy. Thank you, Spirit Team. Thank you, angels. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Now that's my process. You insert your own process there, right? Whatever it looks like to you. I'm going to keep saying that because we get the haterade parade going the minute we mention anything religious, right? All right, we're going to do our energy center in our forehead. This is, some people call it the third eye. Some people call it your internal eyes. We're going to do this whole section. Now, if you've got headaches, this is a fun headache relief exercise. I've done it several times today. It works fantastic. I've got multiple businesses that I run, and sometimes it can give you a headache, right? The stress can give you a headache. This is a fun headache relief option, right? Especially if you get migraines. But we're waking up our internal eyes, because my thing is the eyes are the window to the soul. And if it's not functioning properly, you're missing out on nuggets that could help you launch that business, that could help you get that client, that could help you do those things. Maybe your higher power is trying to get that message to you, but you're blocked. And there, it's just static, right? So we're going to open that up, and we're going to release that. I release. And you'll notice I'm going this way out and down. This way out and down is the direction I'm headed, right? Because we're going to drain our lymph nodes at the same time. Let's get two benefits, right? You may actually get sinus drainage if you've had any sinus problems. I release all negative fear-based energy, entities, depression, sadness, disappointment, judgment, guilt, stress. I release all blockages on my health, my wealth, my abundance, my happiness, my peace, and my success. I release it fully, to the universe where it belongs. Thank you, Spirit Team. Thank you, Sky Daddy. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, angels. Whatever your process is, insert your higher power process right now. Right? Just tap in like the song. Okay. Now, if you like what you see, make sure that you are hitting the heart and you're sharing this, right? Because people need healing, right? This is free game, right? Free healing today. Right? Share it with somebody, hit like. Thank you, everybody tuning in. I appreciate it. Really helps me out. All right, now we're going to go under the eyes, right? Because you got your internal third eye, but then you also have your actual eyeballs. We need to wake those up too, right? So I release all negative fear-based energy, entities, depression, sadness, frustration, anger, unforgiveness. That word just popped in my head. Unforgiveness. Release it. It's for you, not for them. Fun fact, they're going to continue to think what they think about you, whether you forgive them or not. That forgiveness is for you, not for them. Right? You release forgiveness for yourself. I release all blockages on my health, my wealth, my abundance, my prosperity, happiness, and success blockages. I release it now fully back to the universe where it belongs. I release all emotional blockages and traumas back to the universe where it belongs. Thank you, Spirit Team. Thank you, Sky Daddy. And that's insert your higher power process. Right? We're not judging whatever your process is. Insert your higher power process because the energy's got to go somewhere. Energy transfers. You can't just poof it into the air, right? You have to actually verbally command it to go somewhere. If you know, you know. If you're spiritually tuned in, you'll catch what I'm saying. Command it. Say it with your whole chest because you're technically energy's alive and it moves and it's all around us and it makes the earth turn. It makes the universe work. And it's got its own energy resonance and its own personality sometimes, right? But energy transfer. So send it to your higher power, whatever your process is, right? We're not here to judge. We're here to release those traumas and so that we can have a better week, right? Now and if you've ever done MMA, I used to do boxing. This is a knockout point for my MMA boxing fans out there. I still do martial arts a couple of days a week, but this is a knockout point. It's also a meridian point in an energy center, right? So if you pop, they call that the button in boxing. If you pop it hard enough, it'll actually knock somebody out. The back of the neck, we talked about that earlier. That's a huge entry point for negative energy to enter your body. It's also a knockout point, and it could send you to the higher power a little sooner than you wanted, right? If you hit somebody there hard enough, just the FYI for my boxing people, right? So we're going to tap that point. We're going to release that trauma because it holds all these energy centers in your body hold trauma, right? So I release all negative fear-based energy, entities, depression, sadness, anger, frustration, unforgiveness. I'm still hearing that one. It's for you, not for them. I release all blockages on my health, wealth, abundance, prosperity, happiness, peace, and success in every area of my life. I release it now fully back to the universe where it belongs. Thank you, Sky Daddy. Thank you, Spirit Team. And whatever your process is right here, we're not here to judge. Insert your higher power process because energy transfers. It doesn't stop. You got to send it somewhere. Or you can transform it. Now, that's a different live. I've done lives on that before. That one's kind of a next level metaphysics. You can transform it versus send it somewhere. If you know, you know, right? All right. Throat, your throat chakra, your throat meridian, energy center, all this. I tap the whole thing. I don't do just 2 points because we're not trying to, you know, we're not the Karate Kid today, right? You got a whole energy center right here. I tapped the whole thing, and you can do it this way. You know, you can tap it backwards if you're working on your neck, right? Or you can do the whole neck right here. I release all negative fear-based energy, entities, depression, sadness, frustration, anger, stress, unforgiveness, back to the universe where it belongs. I release it fully now. I release all blockages on my health, my wealth, my abundance, prosperity, peace, and success and happiness. I release it fully now to the universe where it belongs. Thank you, Spirit Team. Thank you, Sky Daddy. Thank you, Creator. Thank you. All right. Whew. Now you should start to feel really tingly. My whole body feels like it got hit with an electric fence in a good way, right? So we're about halfway down our meridian chakra points with our tapping. You should start to feel something in your body. I feel it's actually really hot in here right now, and my body's starting to really tingle. That's normal. You want to make sure you're drinking plenty of water because it's just like doing a full body massage. If you don't drink water, you could make yourself sick, right? If you're really releasing a lot of traumas right now, it's okay. That's normal. You may have a bathroom trip or two. Just FYI, that's called a purge, right? If you're really releasing a lot of toxins and trauma, they call that a purge, and just be ready for that one. Like, drink plenty of water and just hang on for the ride. At the end of the ride, you're going to have a lot of relief, and perhaps a physical healing, perhaps an emotional healing. It hits everybody different, right? But you got to release those blockages before you can manifest exactly what you're looking for, right? Otherwise, it's like putting a sugar-coated candy topping on a pile of doo-doo. That's really what it's like in a spirit world, right? Just a FYI. All right, the heart chakra is a big one. The heart meridian point's a big one. We're going to tap this whole area. Again, I'm not the Karate Kid, so we're not just doing 2 points. You got a whole section right here, right? We're going to work our way down the body. Now, you may not see it on camera, but I am tapping, doing this all the way down my body. If you're a dude, you can do your spinal column. If you're not comfortable tapping these areas as a dude, you can actually tap your spinal column. You actually don't have to tap your front. You can tap your tailbone all the way down to your tailbone. And I actually tap the top of my thighs and then onto my calf muscles all the way down to my feet. I do the whole body. I don't stop halfway through the body. My whole body holds trauma, not just half to me. Yeah. All right, this one I'll spend just a hot second on, because the heart's a big part of your money blockages come in at, right? That's a hot tip for people that are having money blockages. Could be something emotional blocking your money. It's weird. That's a real thing. If you've got unforgiveness, if you've got stress, family trauma, that kind of thing, that could very well be blocking you from getting your money manifestation you're looking for, right? Making sure we are good. Okay, cool. Make sure you can still hear me, everybody. Oh. All right. I release all negative, fear-based energies, entities, depression, sadness, anxiety, stress, worry, negative mindset. I'm not worthy. I'm not pretty. And I don't know why this thing started playing song. Now, you know that's a spirit confirmation when your computer randomly starts playing music. right when you're doing a heart healing. That's called a spiritual confirmation. That's from my angel team. I got to shut it off because I don't know what it's playing here, but it's a delayed reaction. So give me just a second, y'all. All right. But yeah, I'm not even touching anything on the computer, and it just started playing a song at random intervals. Now that's how you know your spirit squad stepping in. And that's a confirmation for me, because that was actually like a spiritual song. It wasn't like a secular song playing, right? So I do, get tuned in with music. Music is a huge healing method, and you can do the solfeggio tones. You can do sound bowl. I pick really inspirational songs, and I've got a playlist, and it just randomly playing that, and I didn't touch nothing. So that's a cool moment. Cool moment. Y'all got to see it live, right? All negative fear-based entities, depression, sadness, hurt, trauma, rejection. I'm hearing that word. They're saying make sure I hit rejection, depression, anger, sadness, disappointment, unforgiveness. I release it now fully back to the universe where it belongs. I release all blockages on my health, my wealth, my abundance, my prosperity, peace, happiness, and success. I release it now fully back to the universe where it belongs. Now, if you like what you see, make sure you're hitting the heart. Show some love. Somebody might need to see this, right? I'm also streaming on multiple platforms at the same time. Make sure you're hitting the link tree in my bio, and you'll get to see all my platforms. I got lots of fun content everywhere on all the platforms, and I've got a super cool metaphysical shop. Need to check that out. If you're into candles, oils, soaps, I got you 411. Check my link tree out in the bio. Thank you. All right, now we're moving to our solar plexus. Now you can't really see me on camera. It depends on the camera angle and the platform, but you've got this whole section of your belly. You ever as a kid just kind of bang on your belly like that? You're going to do that with your hands, and you're going to wake up your solar plexus, right? We're just moving down the body and releasing trauma from all of our energy centers. All right, I release all negative fear-based energy, and I'm doing this to my belly. You can't see on camera, but this is what I'm doing. I release all negative fear-based entities, depression, sadness, anger, rage, rejection, unforgiveness, disappointment. I release it now fully back to the universe where it belongs. Thank you, Sky Daddy. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, Spirit Team. Whatever your higher power process is, ain't no judgment. Y'all, everybody's got a different process. We're just releasing the trauma. Energy transfers, it's got to go somewhere, or you can transform it. You can do one or the other. You can transfer the energy out and give it back to your higher power, or you can transmute it, and that's a higher level skill set. We'll do a live on that one day. And you can alchemize it and just have all that energy transform like the Autobots rolling out, right? All right. I release all blockages on my health, my wealth, my abundance, happiness, peace, prosperity, and success in every area of my life. I release it now fully back to the universe where it belongs. Thank you, Spirit Team. Thank you, Sky Daddy. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, angels. whatever your higher power process is. Thank them. Show some gratitude. Right now, for dudes and ladies, if you're uncomfortable tapping the front root chakra, it's right at your tailbone. You can actually tap your backbone. That works too. In fact, I'm getting real tingly. We're definitely tapping onto some healing right now. Your whole body may feel like it's been hit by an electric fence, but not without the pain, right? You're going to feel tingly, hot, cold. You should start to feel some sensations in your body right now: hot, cold, sweaty, tingly, thirsty. Those are all normal. That's your body retuning to the right frequencies, to the higher frequencies, right? So I'm tapping my tailbone. You can't really see it on camera, but I'm doing this to my tailbone, right at the edge of my spine, right? I release all negative, fear-based energies, entities, depression, sadness, anger, frustration, rage, disappointment, rejection. That's a big one. They're telling me to keep tapping on that one. Unforgiveness, trauma. I release it fully now back to the universe where it belongs. I release all blockages. Now you could also do this to your spine, right? If the fingers aren't tapping enough, you could actually do this to the back of your backbone like that. Like they do in a massage parlor. You can do that right at your tailbone. That'll wake up your root chakra or your root meridian, whatever your verbiage is. I release all blockages on my health, wealth, abundance, peace, prosperity, happiness, tranquility, and success. I release all blockages now fully back to the universe where it belongs. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, Spirit Team. Thank you, angels. And that's my process. That's my higher power process. Thank you, Jesus. I'll thank him. I ain't afraid to say the word, right? It's not a dirty word to me, right? Whatever your higher power process is, right? There's no judgment. Now, some people stop here, but you have more than just your main chakra points head to toe. You've got them in your ears. You've got them all through your arms. You actually have them in your hands for healing. You actually have to wake. If you're actually doing like a Reiki healing, you actually have to wake your chakra in your hands up and then transfer the energy, right? Top of the thighs. I'm actually doing this to the top of my thighs, right? It's not on camera, but this is what I'm doing. I'm going to work my way all the way down my legs. And this will be the last one. And then we're going to go back through. You should start feeling relief. You should start feeling really good right now. Let me know how you're feeling in the chat. How are you feeling right now? You should be feeling tingly, hot, cold, thirsty. Let me know what's happening with you guys, right? While we're tapping on this last chakra point. Let me know how you're doing. Release. Now we're doing this all the way down the rest of our leg, right? Release all negative, fear-based energy, entities, disappointment, sadness, frustration, anger, rage, unforgiveness, rejection, trauma. I release it now back to the universe where it belongs. I release it fully. Mind, body, spirit, mental, physical, emotional. All of it's released back to the universe where it belongs. I release all blockages on my health, my wealth, my abundance, prosperity, happiness, peace, success, in every area of my life. I release all that negative blockages now back to the universe where it belongs. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, angels. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Jesus. I ain't afraid to say it. Right? That's my process. What's your process? What's your higher power process? You're going to release it back to the higher power. Now, Energy 101, Physics 101, energy transfers, energy is kinetic, right? It's always moving. It doesn't stop. It doesn't vanish because we tell it to. You got to tell it. You actually have to command it. Hot tip, hot spiritual tip. Command it with your whole chest, right? Imagine you're at the schoolyard and somebody stole your lunch money. That's how you need to command it when you're moving the energy back to Sky Daddy, Creator, higher power, or if you're really into metaphysics and you got a little skill, you can transform it to a more positive energy vibration, right? We'll do one of those. If you are interested on how to do that, we'll do, if I get enough interest generated to do a Zoom, I can do a Zoom on that. In the meantime, if you like what you see, hit like, follow, all that fun stuff. And then make sure you're hitting the link tree in my bio. I've got all the platforms, and I have really cool spiritual cleansing products in my link tree in the bio. I've got soaps, I've got candles, I've got oils that's coming soon, right? All that stuff, bath bombs to help soak your bath, to help soak your body. I've got all that coming, and I've got a lot of it loaded. Thank you, Miss Lori. Thank you. I appreciate it. I've got all that loaded in my link tree in the bio. And follow me on all the platforms. I put content on all of the platforms, not just this one, right? In fact, I'm streaming on 2 platforms at the same time. So a replay, if you missed it, if you're just tuning in, you're like, man, this is really cool. And you want to see it again, man, there's no distance in space and time when it comes to spiritual work, right? There's no distance in the spirit, right? Meaning their timetable is different than ours. Ours is linear, and theirs is like an infinity loop. So you can tap into my energy healing that I'm sending to you at any point in time on the replays, right? You're waking up at 3 a.m., you're stressed, go watch a replay and start tapping. It works. It works. I do it all the time. In fact, I was out doing my groceries, and I'm in the middle of Sam's Club doing this. They just looking at me like, are you crazy? I'm like, man, try it. You're over here with 30 people looking at this cash register crazy. Do this while you're standing in the grocery line. It works. I promise. I've test drove it, right? Thank you, Miss Lori. I've got Miss Lori's. She's got some spiritual cleansing products going out. And like, if you're interested in that stuff, I got lots of stuff loaded on the link tree in my bio. Make sure you're liking, following, show the love, right? This is free healing, right? No charge. We're just doing this every week, right? Until, my spirit team shifts the energy, right? But for now, this is what they want me to do. They want me to pay it forward. I've been doing this 30 years. I've always worked multiple jobs, multiple businesses, but now they're wanting me to put more emphasis on this kind of stuff, right? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Put my link tree in. I'm going to try to pull it back up here. Now, on TikTok, it's already in my bio. All you got to do is click on it. If you're on the tubing of the U, right, I've got to talk backwards. If you know, you know. They've started flagging all the words now. If you're on the tubing of the U, like, I've got to actually put it in the chat over there, because they don't now, let's see. I did have it on the screen, Miss Lori, but I had to reboot. I had to reboot everything. It's give me just a second. Then we'll second. Yeah, it's going to be real mean. Oh, give me a second. Because I'm using my main phone for this. Oh, hold on, I got it here. I'll turn the volume down. I don't have it memorized. I'm a little old school. All right. Here it comes, Miss Lori. I'm getting it in the chat now. If I can get back to my StreamYard. There we go. All right. I've got HTTPS // linktr.ee/APRILBART. Boom. It's going in the chat on the Tubing of the U platform. In the meantime, if you're interested, it's actually already in the BIO on TikTok, right? Again, I'm streaming live on multiple platforms right now, so they're asking for the link on the other platform. All right. Let me know if that doesn't work, Lori. I'll get it to you. All right. Now, we've released. You should be feeling like we're about at the halfway point. I know you're like, oh my God, there's more. But wait, there's more. Remember that guy? Right? So now that we've released all the toxins out of our body, mind, body, spirit, you should feel pretty buzzed right now. Tingly, hot, cold, that's normal. We've released all that negative trauma back to the universe, right? We gave it back to Sky Daddy, higher power. Right now, we're going to bring in the blessings, and I'm going to do it slightly different than you're hearing it a lot, right? We're going to phrase it as if we already have it. Why am I doing that? Because if you don't do that, you are telling your higher power that you are not ready for that blessing. It's like a subconscious thing that kicks in your brain. Instead of saying, I receive good health, wealth, abundance, phrase it like this. Phrase it, thank you. I am healthy, wealthy, wise, and I am worthy. Thank you. That hits different. It should feel different in your body. I want you to just take a second, try that real quick. Say the phrase, say the first one, say, I receive good health, wealth, abundance. Notice how you feel, right? We're going to do Energy 101 right now. This is my little education cap. Feel that in your body. What does that one feel like? I receive good health, wealth, abundance. Sounds good. Cool. Notice how you feel. Now, you're going to reset, and you're going to say this. Thank you. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am wise. I am abundant. And I am worthy to be blessed. Thank you. Notice how that feels in your body. That one to me, that one feels like a total, it's a little bit like, it may be subtle for you if you're not used to feeling that, but just take a minute to see how those two phrases feel different in your body. The second one should feel different. That's the one you're looking for, because that automatically sends the programming to your brain to let your brain know, I am ready. I'm ready, and it tells your higher power that you're ready, right? So when you say it like you've already got it, whole different ball game. So now that we've cleared all the toxins out, make sure you're drinking your water, right? Because we just did like a full body massage all over our body, right? Make sure you're drinking your water, because you're going to feel some physical effects. We're going to go head to toe on all of our energy center chakras. We're going to do a blanket statement because, we got things to do on a Sunday, but it works. We're going to phrase it as if we've already got it. And I want you this week to look in the mirror, and you're going to say with your whole chest until it feels right, right? At first, it's going to feel silly, and you may not feel normal to you, but you're going to say, I am loved, I am healthy, I'm wealthy, I am wise and abundant, and I am worth it. That covered a whole wide area of stuff, and it's changing your mindset, right? Look in the mirror every day and say that every morning until it feels comfortable. Then you're going to start seeing that power bill paid by Friday or earlier, right? Then you're going to start seeing that vehicle that you're looking for. Then you're going to start seeing the job that you want or the client you want when that mindset shifts. from a poor is me, woe is me, glooming and dooming to gratitude and a mindset change. It is what it is. I don't make up the rules. I just teach them, right? I don't make up the rules of the universe, y'all. There's loads of books on this. I got tons of them that I can recommend, right? On this stuff. Don't take my word for it. Research it, right? Law of attraction. It's a thing. In fact, I think Abraham Hicks, the one that written by Abraham Hicks, that one, I read that one many times. I've got on Audible. I've read bunches of them. Benjamin Bernstein's Instant Divine Access, Instant Divine Assistance by Benjamin Bernstein. That's one of my favorites. He's also on Audible. Fantastic read. He explains all this stuff. He gives you a slightly different meditation method, but it's actually really, really effective for people that have like ADHD, right? That's your hot read of the week. There's your 2 books to gnaw on for some spiritual head knowledge, right? Benjamin Bernstein's Instant Divine Assistance. That's one book. The other one is like Abraham Hicks. I think it's The Law of Attraction. It's their version of that book. But you just type that in and you'll see it pop up. I think they got more than one book now. All right. We're going to start it over and we're going to receive our blessings. Start tapping. Thank you. I am loved in all types of love. I am healthy, all types of healthy. I am wealthy, all types of wealthy. I am abundant, all types of abundant. And I am blessed. I am worthy to be blessed. Thank you, Spirit Team. Thank you, Sky Daddy. All right, we're gonna get as many of these because you guys know the drill at this point. You can watch this replay on YouTube. The replay is going to be available, Miss Lori, immediately after. If you've got to run and you want to back up and do it again, you can. But the replay is available. Link trees in my bio. Make sure you're following on the platforms. You can see the replay on the tubing of the U. If you know, you know, right? But we're going to go through this quickly because I've got stuff I got to do too, right? We're gonna hit it and get it. We're going to speed tap. Thank you, Spirit Team. Thank you, Sky Daddy. I am healthy, wealthy, abundant in all areas of my life. I am loved in all kinds of love, all types of love. And I am worthy to be blessed. Thank you. Thank you, Sky Daddy. Thank you, Spirit Team. Under the eyes. All right, we're speed tapping, right? We got things to do. This replay is going to be available. And my others are already on there. We do this every week. Thank you. Thank you, Creator. I am healthy, wealthy, wise. I'm abundant in all types of abundance. I'm loved in all types of love. And I am worthy to be blessed. Thank you. Thank you. Under the nose. Thank you. I am healthy, wealthy, wise, abundant, and loved in all types of love and areas, all types of abundance in all areas of my life. And I'm worthy of these things. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, Sky Daddy. Thank you, Spirit Team. Thank you. Under the chin. Oh, I got to do a little puzzle on TikTok here in a second. All right, hold on. Oh, my bad. I got butterfingers. All right, we had to do the puzzle piece. We've been at it an hour. They make you do a little puzzle and make sure you're not a robot. Thank you, Spirit Team. I am loved. All kinds of love, all areas of my life. I'm healthy, wealthy, and wise. And I'm worthy to be blessed. Thank you, Spirit Team. Thank you, Sky Daddy. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, angels. Thank your higher power what you process. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. It means a lot. Thank you for the support. All these replays will be available on my link tree and my bio on the tubing of the U. If you know, you know. I got to speak backwards on TikTok, right? They flagged too many words. But if you want to watch the replay and do the full healing, they're all on there. All the replays are loaded on there. We're getting it organized, but they're all in there. Just poke around, press play. Thank you. Feeling the love. Thank you. Thank you. Is that a heart? Is that a heart? That's how they do the heart. Thank you. I am loved. I am healthy, wealthy, and wise. I am abundant in all areas of my life, all kinds of love, and I am worthy of these things. Thank you, Creator. I'm blessed. Right, neck, throat chakra, right? We're getting there. Thank you, Creator. I am healthy, wealthy, wise. I'm abundant in all areas of my life. I am loved in all types of love, and I'm worthy of these things. Thank you, Spirit Team. Thank you, Creator. More, please. Hey, got to tell them more, please. Right? We're having a blast, right? We're moving all the way down. We're kind of speed tapping because we got things to do on a Sunday, right? Heart chakra. Let's see. No, we're changing our verbiage today. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am wise. I'm abundant in all areas of my life. I'm blessed and highly favored. I'm successful. And I'm loved in all types of love. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, Spirit Team. More, please. Thank you. Thank you for your protection. Thank you for your love. Thank you for guidance. Start thinking it, man. That changes your mindset. That's what brings your blessings in, not the glooming and the dooming. That don't bring it in. That lowers your vibration, and you receive lower vibration blessings, right? You know, you'll get that dude you don't want calling you versus the one you do. Check your vibe. If you get a lot of weird people calling you and you're like, why they call me? Check your vibe. It happens to me all the time. I've got to check my brain every day. I am preaching to the choir here. I gotta check my mental every single day. I appreciate all the lives, all the likes, all the love. Everybody tuning in, thank you. All right, we're bringing the airplane in. We're doing our solar plexus. I am healthy, wealthy, wise, and abundant in all areas of my life. I'm successful. I'm blessed and highly favored. And I'm loved in all types of love. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, Spirit Team. Thank you, angels. More, please. Ooh, feels tingly. Bet you're feeling better, right? If you know, you know, right? Now you can you can do this to your tailbone, your spine, or you can do your front, whichever one works better. You can do the front. Hey, Letitia, what's happening? We're finishing up an energy healing. Appreciate all the likes, all the shares. Everybody tuning in, thank you. All right, bringing in the airplane. I am healthy, wealthy, and wise. I am successful in every area of my life. I am blessed and highly favored. And I'm loved in all types of love. And I'm worthy of these things. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, Spirit Team. Thank you, angels. More, please. Right? Woo! Feels different. Now we're going down our legs, and this will be it. We're gonna last chakra. We're doing all the way down our legs. Tap starting with the thigh all the way down to the heel. I am healthy, wealthy, wise. I'm abundant in every area of my life. I'm successful in every area of my life. Everything I do, I'm successful. I am blessed and highly favored. I'm confident. I'm beautiful. Right? Change your mindset. And I'm loved in all types of love. Thank you, Spirit Team. Thank you, Sky Daddy. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, angels. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I release your energy back to you now with blessings, love, good health, wealth, abundance, peace, prosperity, happiness, bliss, above so below, on earth as it is in heaven, inside and out, mind, body, spirit, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, atomic, subatomic, cellular, and all dimensional levels without a doubt. And so it is. Amen and amen. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, Sky Daddy. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, angel teams and higher powers. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the love. Thank you for tuning in, Miss Lori, on the Tubing of the U. We are streaming live on multiple platforms successfully today, right? And if you like what you see, the replays are available. The link is in my bio, right, on the link tree. Follow all the platforms, and then go check out my metaphysical shop, right? I do candles, I do oils, I do bath bombs, and I'm doing soaps. All those pictures are getting loaded on there. It's a work in progress, right? Some of them's already loaded on there, and then we're going to get some more on there, right? Today, probably. They're already made. I've just got to load the pictures. It's more than just tapping, guys. It's got to be a lifestyle change. Change your mindset, change your food, change your bath process, right? Try soaking in Epsom salt, right? That's a hot spiritual tip of the week. Epsom salt neutralizes negative vibrations. Doesn't matter what kind of salt. I do all of them. I've got a fun jars of everything in there in the living room. I have to take the camera in there one day and show you guys, but I've got every type of Epsom salt. I've got black salt, sea salt, Himalayan pink salt. I put it all in a bath bomb with some herbs and spices. If you know, you know, if you're tuned in. And then you bless it, say your process, your prayer, your intention, the higher power, Sky Daddy, whatever your process is, and then you bathe in it for more, like 20 minutes or more, and you just decompress and you deep breathe, and that's it. No agenda, no special anything. You're just deep breathing, and you are feeling your body, and all that release goes into the salt, and then you release it back to the universe when you're done with your bath. And you want to air dry it. Don't dry off with a towel. A lot of people are missing that tip, right? So tune in next week. We're going to do it all over again. And then if you want this on a deeper level, I do offer healing services on a deeper level, of all kinds, right? Also, if we get enough interest, I can go down the rabbit hole with some of these metaphysical topics. We can't really talk about them 100% on some of the platforms. A lot of stuff is restricted. Words are restricted. Content is being restricted. If you want this on a deeper level and you want like a Zoom class, let me know. I'd like to get that going again once a month, and we're going to do some really deep topics. Like, so if you've got to go, you can go ahead and go. Now, the one topic I wanted to talk about after we did our healing is my little soapbox moment for my religious folks out there. So I do go to a local church, right? I do try to get my spirituality on, right? Here's the thing. Like I went to seminary school like 8 years, right? I've got a lot of head knowledge. I went through exorcism school, right? I went through demonology school. Some people call it deliverance school. Depends on the circle you roll in. But I've had the training, and I've done successful deliverances before, right? I have a team trained technically, right? We're on sabbatical, but I've got one trained. This stuff is real, guys. People got to start taking their spirituality serious. Now, here's the thing. You get a lot of religious mindsets, right? A lot of religious mindsets. So I wanted to speak to that for a minute after the healing to honor everyone's time. I know people got things they got to do on a Sunday, and they didn't really want to stay for a soapbox moment. And I want to get my soapbox moment out of the way now, right? Because I know they be trolling my page and watching the religious folks and the different ministry pages, and they'll troll my page because I used to run in those circles pretty heavy, right? But here's the thing. I've done a lot of research on this, right? Some people call this, they speak down on it, Here's my thing. If you really read, we're going to talk to the Christian part of it, right? If you really read your word like you're supposed to, it is full of metaphysical stuff. The verbiage 3,000 years ago is not the same as today. That's where the hangup is coming in. We are all driving different vehicles, but we are headed to the same destination spiritually. I want people to catch that, right? Think about it this way. I may be driving a four-wheel drive pickup, right? We're out here in Tennessee. Yeehaw. You may be in California and driving a Beamer. We're both in vehicles going to the same spiritual destination. We're all trying to get our spirituality on. We're all trying to get to that higher level. We each drive a different vehicle and get there at different speeds, right? Your method isn't any less valid than my method, right? I hate this competition spirituality mindset. I hate that, right? My beliefs are my beliefs and yours is yours, right? We're all going to the same destination, no matter how you're getting there, right? That's really how I'm viewing it now, because, I'd sit through a 2-hour sermon today and it was like them glooming and dooming the whole audience, right? There were some positive moments and they did pray for people and everything, but my thing is, do your research before you get up there and go on a soapbox, right? Jesus did some pretty crazy stuff, right? He turned water into wine. That's metaphysics. That's what it is now. That's what we call it now. They didn't call it that 3,000 years ago when he was walking the earth, right? Right, dude. Think about it from a historical context, right? We didn't have some of the technologies that we do now. They didn't have that, right? So think about what would happen now, right? So you got some pretty celebrated characters, in the Torah and the Hebrew Bible, and you've got them, in the Christian Bible, and you've got it on the Quran, right? Let's take it, right? Is my little soapbox moment. People look up to that character from from a biblical standpoint. They look up to Joseph, right? He's a rock solid Bible character. Now, here's my metaphysical soapbox moment. We put those people down today. If we put Joseph, right, from the Bible story, we put him in a modern day setting on a TikTok live, they would eat him alive. That's sad. That he had some real skill. He could interpret your dreams. He had his divination cup. I had never heard a preacher hit that one. I went to seminary school 8 years. I ain't never heard one tackle that one. Not one time have I ever heard them get on there and talk about the whole chapter in Genesis about his divining cup. He puts it in the bag. He does this whole deception, right? That's not very Christian-like. But he's a rock. So he's in there. He's in the actual Bible, right? This is a character that's in there that we just glaze over that part. We cherry pick it. It specifically says in every translation, he used his cup, the special cup he had, to do divination. It specifically says that. Hard fact. Every single translation, including Hebrew. How's that? Put that one in a pipe and smoke it. For real. Like, I challenge any, I went to school 8 years for this stuff, right? I went to seminary 8 years and I went through demonology school and I've done successful exorcisms, right? I have never heard a preacher tackle that topic. We got a whole chapter. Hey, sis, welcome. I'm on my soapbox moment a little bit. Now, I just did a whole live healing session. So if you missed the live healing, you can tune in on the link tree in my bio. Look it up on my tubing of the U. I've got to speak backwards because they flag words now. Look on the link tree in the bio. The replay is going to be available in like a few minutes on the tubing of the U, right? All the past lives are available in the healing session. If you want to do the tapping, it's the free healing. You can rewatch it and get your healing. But I wanted to just speak to a soapbox moment because I listened to a 2-hour blowhard sermon. And I'm like, I'm tired of preachers not doing their research, right? So they make fun of psychics, they make fun of tarot readers, they make fun of intuitives, but the whole Bible's full of intuitives and psychics and divinators. It's full of it. Now you do have, it's like they split it up. Now when you do the research, you have parts of it where they, they're speaking against it, and then you have parts of it where it's celebrated. So I'm, using examples of both, right? So Old Testament, you've got Joseph. Now, I've never heard a preacher tackle this one. He had a whole cup, and it says in every translation ever written, including the Dead Sea Scrolls that they found in that cave, his divining cup, divination cup. It says it in every translation. Why? Why do we hate these people? Why is it like spiritual mafia out there in churches? Jesus didn't want it that way. He said, love your neighbor as yourself. Now, that's a command. That was his final command before he did what he did for the whole human race, right? I got chills on that. He didn't stutter. That means I got to love you. Now, I don't have to hang with you. I don't got to eat dinner with you. I don't got to call you on the phone, but I do have to respect you. I got to love your beliefs and your viewpoints. Why? Because Jesus told me to. He said, LOVE, love your neighbor as yourself. I love myself. I like my tater chips. I like my watermelon. I got to love my neighbor as much as I love myself. And I like myself. Yeah, love your neighbor, man. That was his final command. People skip that one when they're glooming and dooming folks to death for being intuitive. I wanted to speak on that, right? So if you're intuitive, you're a tarot reader, you're a psychic, man, hats off to you. Send you blessing, love, light, healing, peace, and peace to your mind. And no, they need to go back and reread their word. I've spent 8 years in seminary, and I've spent more years than that doing total years has been 15 of all the studying I've done with that specific topic. And then, I've done metaphysical studies even before that, right? So my total study time has been about 20 years and 30 years experience with this stuff, right? I've hung out with the natives down here in Tazewell County. They've taught me a whole lot, actually. I've, went through seminary school, went through demonology school, exorcism school, right? I've done a lot of training, guys. They need to reread their stuff. Right now, we're going to skip to those people that are like, well, we go by the New Testament now. Okay, you ready for this soapbox moment? This one's going to blow your mind. When they replaced Judas, when Judas betrayed Jesus, right? Right. Thank you, sis. I want to just speak to this because I'm tired of preachers trolling my page and not reading our word. I can bring it in Hebrew, Greek, Aramaic, and I can show you in the word where this stuff is at, just the FYI, right? When they replaced Judas, when they were trying to decide who was going to replace Judas as a disciple, right? Judas went and hung himself. He died, right? And they're trying to replace Judas, right? They cast lots. I want you to clock that. Jesus's disciples cast lots. Now, when you actually know your Greek and Hebrew, that word is the modern day equivalent of doing a pendulum. It's like their version of runes. It's like the Hebrew version of runes. If you ever done the runes, right, or a pendulum, it's like a yes or no question pendulum. It's right there in the word, man. Do your research. Don't take my word for it. I want you to get out your Blue Letter Bible app. I want you to get out your Greek lexiconic. I want you to get all the research that I've had to do in regular school and ministry school and otherwise, and really get into the word and stop hating on folks that have an intuitive gift. Now, they may not have had all the training that you had. They may not have had all the fancy dance stuff, and they may not have anybody gives a hoot about them, right? So yeah, they do their method how they do it, right? But they've got a God-given gift, and stop doing the haterade. It's got to stop somewhere, right? Do your research, right? But then you swing around to other sections of the word, And it does speak about it in a negative light. Now, what's the difference? So you got Simon the sorcerer over here in one section of the New Testament, and then you've got, Jesus's disciples casting lots over who's going to replace Judas as a disciple. Now, that's also a divination tool. It's like an old school version of a pendulum, right? If you know, you know. If you've done your research, you'll know that. Google it. It's on there. It's on there. Hard fact. It's on there. It's on there. That's a real thing. It says it right there on Google, right? All right. In other books too, right? Yeah, so do your research, guys. Stop putting people down. Stop glooming and dooming people that have a psychic gift or they do tarot cards, or everybody gets there in their different way. It's like I'm illustrating to people. We're all in different vehicles. My vehicle looks different than Amanda's vehicle, right? Her vehicle looks different than mine. We are all getting to the same destination spiritually. We are all trying to get there at different speeds, different engines under the hood of our vehicles, right? But we're all getting there our own way. Stop the hate. That's the message of the night. Do your research. Don't take my word for it. I've done this. I've been studying this. I've been down a rabbit hole for more than 15 years. I love it. I love to rabbit hole. In fact, I would love to do a deep dive on this stuff and really take each instance of divination in the word, in the Bible. We're talking Christian talk right now, versus like spirituality. I'm comparing the two just a little bit. I would like to do a deep dive rabbit hole and take each instance in the word, every translation in Hebrew, Greek, Aramaic, compare the words so that people get a wide variety. It's almost like a gray area. And from my research, it indicates that it is a person's character is involved, whether, it's viewed in a good light or a bad light. If you really read all the separate examples, right? Because you've got this dude over here, Simon the sorcerer, and then you've got other examples where it was condemned, but then you've got examples over here like Joseph where he had his teacup, he had his tea leaves that he read in his divination cup. It says that in every translation, including the Torah. Can't make that up, folks. I've never seen a preacher tackle that one in a Sunday service, by the way. I bet it'll pump their brakes real fast. It's a whole chapter of Genesis they skip over. Why? It's in there. It's in the word. Please tackle that one on a Sunday service. I'm going to be there front row. I want to see how you handle that one. Right? So stop hating people. Everybody gets there on their own time, right? Everybody gets to their spiritual journey in their own vehicle at their own rate of speed. We're all on the same highway. We're just riding different vehicles, right? So stop the hate. That's the message of love for tonight. I know you guys troll my pages, speaking to all the haterade from all the ministries that keep trolling my page and sending me weird stuff. I'm alchemizing all that energy. I've learned how to do that, right? So the more energy you send to me, the stronger I get. So keep it up. I'm having a great week, right? If you want to learn how to do that, one of my replays on my the Tube of You, right? One of my replays actually has the instructions on how to do that, right? There's a way to take all that negative energy and word curses and all that stuff and transform it and alchemize it into positive energy. Pray it over your water. Pray it over your food. Pray it over your whole home every single day, multiple times a day, and I'm telling you, you're going to see a change. Every dart becomes $1. Just start saying it. Every hate becomes high vibrational love and joy. Every blockage becomes a blessing, right? You're going to transform it with the words of your mouth. It says in the book of Proverbs, as a man thinks, so he is, right? Start changing your thinking. So every time they're sending hate your way, don't hate it. Thank them. Thank them. You made me stronger, because I'm taking that energy and I'm transforming it into power to help serve me, my family, my kids. Get that mindset, and I promise you're going to have a better week. No matter how hard they throw hate at you, you're going to have a fantastic week. Now, you may feel an energy dip for a second. That's your cue to go start the prayer process, right? When you feel that energy dip, you're going to start saying over your water, get you a bottle of water and start praying over the water. I charge this water to transmute all negative energy into positive, high vibrational energy, and start naming what you want it to do. Every dart becomes $1. Every worry becomes wealth, right? Every gossip and lie becomes becomes an opportunity and a blessing, right? Start saying what you want it to do, right? That's a hot tip of the night. Thank you, everybody. I return your energy back to you. If you've missed the live, the replay is available on my socials, in the link tree in my bio. Make sure you're doing a follow, and make sure you're checking out my metaphysical store, right? I do have, candles available. I've got soaps now, and I'm getting ready to load up, some bath bombs and some oils and stuff on there too. The tubing of the U will have the replay in a few minutes. If you missed the live and you want to do the free healing, watch the replay, right? Be blessed. Thank you for tuning in.